And I'm sure some of you will have seen some of his work from him or his team. He leads a team of developers to create all the sort of CBeebies content, things like games and animations and all these kind of things. And you'll see he's a really exciting person to listen to. And like myself, when he was about 10 or 11 years old, he started with a computer, taught himself how to do all this stuff, didn't learn it at school, and now make it a very successful career. So, are you about ready, John? So, John Howard from the BBC, show your appreciation. Thank you. There we go.
Well, hi guys, my name's John and I have the privilege of making games for a living. And it really is a privilege. It's great fun and something that I wanted to do from when I was a kid. I was going to hold competitions and just play some games, but we've got a little bit of a technical fail here, so what I'm going to do is have a breakout session later. First off, let me ask a quick question. Who's got an Xbox? Oh, we've got all about half. PlayStation? DS? Well, yeah, so that's quite a lot of PSP, a handful, and a Wii. Usually quite a lot. So games, they're all about games. I don't make games for any of those, so that's a waste of time. Christmas Day, 1981. I was 11 years old. Any 11-year-olds here? No. Okay, we've got one. So I was 11. So big box was there, and this opened. And this is a Commodore VIC-20, an 80s computer. It had a massive amount of memory of 3,585 bytes. Now, this is my phone. In terms of available memory, how many of these do you think fit into here? Go on, somebody shout out a guess. 100? No. 1 million, yes, somebody got it bang on. 1 million of those, if that came in the box that it was delivered in, it would fill this whole school 1 million. And I could quite easily double the memory in this for the cost of about 20 quid. And that would mean there'd be 2 million of these things. Now, one of the things about this computer is when you turn it on, oh, maybe I should point over that. This is what you get. Now, that's hardly an Xbox, a rival screen, is it? Does that excite you? Does it really? Yeah. Ooh. So what does it mean? It's that 3,583. Accurate enough, I said 5. Yeah, okay, so that's telling me how much there is. That's CBM Basics, that's saying this is the language I'm working in, and it just says ready. So what am I going to do? I have to pick up the manual. I really do pick up the manual and see what can I do, and it says, oh, I can type in a program. So that's what I do on Christmas Day. I type in my first ever program, and here we go. 10 print, John is brilliant. Of course, I'm going to say that. 20 go to 10. Who knows what that's going to do? It's going to print it on the screen. But it's going to print it on the screen once, but I need to get this program to run now. Now, how would I get a program to run? Type the word run, yes, exactly. There we go, I type the word run, and bam! Yes, I've written my first ever computer program, and look what I've done. I've got my name on the screen, and it says I'm brilliant. Now, I was very excited about this, and then I realised the possibilities. I can go on to do more things on the screen. I can make characters move across the screen. I can design characters. So it wasn't my computer. This was my auntie and uncle's house I was at, and they lived the other side of town, a half-hour walk. Yet every weekend after that Christmas, every holiday, every day in a holiday, I'd walk all the way across town to come and have a go on his computer. And in between, I had a notepad with graph paper, and I'd design graphics. And this is how they work. You see up here? That's binary. So here are the pixels, an 8 by 8. That's the area you've got to design for. You can see here 1, 2, 4, 8. So I put a couple of blocks there, and that means that that line equates to that number, 16 plus 8, 24. And then I calculate it across all of those. I put all those numbers into the VIC-20, and I get me little guy. Here he is. Isn't that great? Well, I thought it was great. I'm 11. I can make a little guy. And then I can do a few of these and get them to animate. I've got an animated little guy on the screen. So I can make games let's start looking like this. And start inventing those. And, you know, at the time, there's no internet. But I can show my mates, and I can play them myself, and get the family to play them, and everyone's quite excited. Well, I was, essentially, but here we go. Then, I changed computer. Now, my daughter doesn't think this looks like a computer at all. She thinks more of a... Anyone seen one of these before? This is a Spectrum, and it's got amazing games. Manic Miner. That was just groundbreaking, even though it just looks like a couple of lines. Way of the Fighting Fist. I can't remember the name of that game there, but I used to play these guys and try and program. But then, BBC, the company I work for now, thought, you know what, the country needs to learn how to program. This is going to be massive. Before these computers started coming out, there were people who thought, oh, maybe the world only needs 5 computers, 5 big computers, and that will run everything around the world. But no, all of a sudden, computers started pushing into the home. So BBC made this and pushed it out to schools. You've all got ICT labs with PCs there. This was the PC of its day. We bash out BASIC and do programs in school, and that was our ICT. We'd have to write programs. But I just want to point out this game here. There's a game. Anyone know what this one is?
Asteroid.
Asteroids, get out of it. This is elite. This computer's got 32K. You know, that's a notebook worth of text. That can fit into 32K. This game had 8 galaxies with 200 planets, each with its own ecosystem, space stations, and lots of ships that you could fly around, all fit into 32K by a great guy called David Braben who was made. Elite. It blew me away, and still does, that it could build that in that and have such an engaging game. Now we got Frack and everyone else at the school. Okay, it took some of us geeks to really want to play this, you know, and get engaged in the game. It took months to play, but Chucky Egg was the killer at school. If anyone's ever played Chucky Egg, anyone's parents ever played Chucky Egg. But yeah. So when I was at school, my mind was always on programming, even though, you know, I didn't want anyone to know that. Because you've got to try and appear cool. But there are useful things I learned at school which I've carried on through life. And now a lot of things that we learn at school, you're at school and you're kind of thinking, oh, I don't need to know that maths. When am I ever going to use that in my life? But I've suddenly found that there was lots of things that I did need. And it was really useful that I did. Well, programming was one of them. We did a fair chunk of programming. Little databases, as I said, and even we like to make some games. Coordinate systems. In maths, you learn about X and Y and where to put it. But, you know, drop a Z into there and all of a sudden you can build yourself, or at least understand how 3D systems work. Trigonometry. Now, if I'm building a game, I need to know where something is in relation to something else, and essentially what angle that is. And trigonometry is all about triangles. So you work out the angle by looking at the triangle and calculating the angle there. So trigonometry has been really useful. And what standard of trigonometry do I need? I mean, it seems scary to talk about that, but what standard do I need? That's below GCSE standard. It's pretty much most of what I use every day. A few sines, a few cosines, that's it. And algebra. I mean, people, oh, algebra, I don't want to do algebra. Oh, it's maths, it's horrible. It's not, it's easy, and really helps with the programming. So for me, I learned how to program, and I learned maths. In different places, programming at home and a little bit at school, but they both supplemented each other as I went through my career. And physics. Now, if you're making a game, if you've got a little guy and he steps off a platform, you want him to fall, don't you? So you've got to understand that there's some basic physics, and you know, if you want to bump into something or something affects something else, some little bits of basic physics understanding really, really helps. So I got through school, I did all those things, I picked them up, and eventually went to university where I did computer science. That was my name, computer science. Impressive, isn't it? It's all about ones and zeros in a computer, much like it is in your head. And it was always one of my ambitions to be able to download my brain into a computer. But I'm not there yet, but maybe one day. So, then the internet happened. Now, you see that transition? I'm not going to do that one again. That is faster than the internet was when it first kicked off. You'd have to wait for every single image. That would be a tiny image on a page. Oh, come on, I need that information. But the internet, and then it soon dawned on us that we could start putting games on the internet, and that's a good way of getting to games. And so I worked in the music industry. I started making programs that produced jukeboxes and MP3 jukeboxes, and then I started doing games, but again, within the music industry, and eventually I ended up at CBeebies 5 years ago. And it's been great. It's been absolutely brilliant since I've been there. I'm going to take you on a quick potted history of CBBC. Because this year, Children's is 90 years old. 90, nearly 100. So 1922 was the first Children's Hour radio broadcast. 1946, the first TV broadcast. Anyone know who that one is? Exactly, yeah. Still around today in animated form. 1950, the Children's Department formed, which I'm part of now. Now, I don't know what programme this was, but he looks mighty scary. Hopefully that was a Halloween special. 1958, Blue Peter launched. We're very proud. Helen just reached the South Pole. It's just an amazing feat. 1960, state-of-the-art television centre opens. Look at that, isn't that state-of-the-art? Whoa, yeah. Well, not anymore. 4 years later, East Tower Television Centre opens, and if you look here, that's my office for the last 5 years, until we moved up here. 1972, Newsround launched, first presentations from the broom cupboard, and really, we looked all the way across the television centre to find a room so we could put our presentation team in there. Couldn't find one, and it literally did end up going into the broom cupboard. 1995, first children's website launched. 2002, if you haven't heard already, this is the 10th birthday of CBeebies and CBBC as digital channels. So I think it could even be today, but next week there's a big party at Media City. Everyone's invited. And last year we moved to Salford Quays. There's my new office, just in there somewhere. It's a great space, and we're all very excited about coming up north. So CBeebies. I'm going to give you a quick. I mean, you guys have all grown up with CBeebies. It's been around. Some of you might not admit to ever having watched it, but. Does anyone know who these guys are? These guys? These guys? This guy? Makapaki, yes. So why do we make games? We've got a television channel, and so that's going to show you TV. Is that where you're entertained? This is why we make games. This is the first button pressed when kids come onto the CBeebies page. There we go. 55% of people press the games button. I'll flick through that. That's Lingo Show. We're very proud. That's an interactive proposition that's gone the other way around, and we've made a TV program from it. CBBC. Who are these guys? Dick and Dom. Very good. So, why do we make games for CBBC? 65 to 70%, the first button pressed is games. But that equates to about 90% of people who come to the CBBC website play games. Horrible Histories last year came along, said we're doing a new series. So we had to sit around with them and come up with ideas. I was going to go through these, sounds like I haven't got a lot of time. Go and check out Moose View, it's about cows being sick. And here we've got Gone Farmer, collecting poo. Of course, that's the way it works. So how do you make a game? Who is it in the team who makes a game? You have a developer, a producer, a project manager, and a designer. Now, the beret is optional, as is the beard and moustache. I don't know, we got any berets in the house? Maybe you want to be a designer. But of all these people, there's only one in that team who, if they weren't there, you wouldn't be able to make a game. Yeah? Any idea? I'm going to get rid of the project manager, the producer, even the designer. Bam! If you didn't have a developer, you wouldn't be able to make a game. That's just the way it is. So last weekend, I made a game with my kids, and they called it Eggy Eggy Pig. Now, I was going to demonstrate this, and I'm going to, as I said, I'll show it later as part of a breakout session. But this is HTML5. They've animated it and given all the drawings, and you know what? It is actually really good, Eggy Eggy Pig. And I also made a game for us to play. It was going to have a challenge and prizes. So in the breakout session, we'll play that. Hack to the Future Flinger. So I just wanted to say as well, your challenge, should you choose to accept it. Anyone know what this thing is? The Raspberry Pi. Now, this is going to be available for about 20 quid, 20, 30 quid in the next few weeks. Now, nobody's got one yet, but it's a tiny little thing you plug into the TV. And you're going to have to program it. Much like the VIC-20, you're going to have to come and start programming your own things, because there aren't any games for it yet. But lots of people are going to have these, and lots of people are going to want to play games. So your challenge, if you want to accept it, is to come and grab a Raspberry Pi and make some games. This will do graphics that are the equivalent of an Xbox. It's got an amazing graphics card. It's going to do amazing things, and you've got the potential. And the priority, really, because this isn't for us guys, as old as, this is for the young guys to get in there and start making some amazing things. So please do. It's next to nothing. It's spare change to buy a computer that you can build amazing games for. So thank you very much for listening to me, and hopefully you'll feel inspired today, and hack days and unconferences like this are a great way of just getting in there and finding out what you need to know, and also speaking to the right people, finding out what your career path should be. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Two fantastic speakers, Sam Bale and John Howard. Show your appreciation. Thank you. Now, there's something challenging that's going to come up next. We've got nearly 300 people in this room, and some of this dotted around the school at the moment. We're going to have to get you all to the right place. So I'm going to give you some instructions in a moment that will help us all get there as smoothly as we possibly can. So we're not just going to leave the room altogether. So this is how it's going to work. I've just gone to the grid, and a friend of mine called Brigitte, she has just copied everything down. And I'm going to tell you what you've signed up for and where you're going to go. So you need to keep an eye on the grid as the day goes on, because it may be sessions move. For example, we had a LAN party booked down for session 2. We're going to have to fit that in somewhere else at the moment on the grid. So that one may change. So, what's going to happen in a moment, I'm going to ask you, if you've signed up for a certain session, you're going to stand up without making a lot of fuss, you're going to take all of your stuff with you, and you're going to go in the direction that I'm telling you. Remember, you've got a map on the back of your mini grids. The first session is going to start 1 minute ago. So that's the thing with Hack to the Future, we can use time travel to make things work for us. So it's going to start 1 minute ago. And this is what's going to happen. We have some people who have signed up to code with the BBC for session 1. So could those people stand up where you are? You should be in a group at the moment. Right, the people that are code with the BBC, can you move out, up the stairs, and you need to go right down into 45. Now, if everybody starts talking at this stage, it's going to make it take a little bit longer for everybody to get out of the room. Now, if there's somebody sat next to you talking, you might look at them now, give them a hard stare. Go, now, some people have signed up for a workshop to build your own computer, a retro 80s style computer. You're going to go to System 3.1. So what you're going to do in a moment, you're going to stand up, you're going to go out that way, you're going to go all the way down the corridor there to the very end of System 3.1.
Still streaming this? Yeah. Are you going to be streaming in here? No. Yeah. What, are you going to be streaming anything else? Okay.
Now I'm going to send 2 groups out.